Hello, everyone. This is Nikki with Backyard Politics. This is an update to the situation in Iraq right now. Um, there has been uh, this kind of crap being sent around online, and it's threats to anybody talking about what's really going on because the mainstream media and the establishment don't want us to know. So, unfortunately, anybody that talks about the truth is subject to investigation and smears, etc. Um, anyway, I wanted to share that. And I've been in contact with one of my sources who's actually on the ground in Iraq. And I wanted to share an update to what is going on. So I had heard that there were more airstrikes from the U.S. on the PMF yesterday, which the PMF is who Soleimani was helping. It's a revolutionary group of the Iraqi soldiers and the Iraqi people trying to get freedom for themselves. And Soleimani is not the terrorist that the mainstream media is trying to get you to think he is. He was actually helping to defeat ISIS, which is probably why we had him as a target. Because we fund ISIS. And that's been proven. That's not a conspiracy theory. In fact, this is how corrupt the United States government is. The Democrats approved Trump's $738 billion a year military budget and essentially paid for the attacks. 187 Democrats and 189 Republicans all voted in favor of endless money for endless wars. Which kind of begs the question also with this whole impeachment gate thing, which is Russiagate 2.0. Why would they impeach him over a phone call when there's so many other things that they could do? It's because they're in on the corruption and the war efforts as well. They like what he's doing. They want him to do more war. They want every president to do more war. They make money that way. In fact, stocks of Raytheon and Lockheed Martin went up yesterday right after the attack. So I had heard that there were missile airstrikes on the PMF yesterday while they were in mourning, and it has been verified. There was a second airstrike occurred targeting the Iraqi crowd, which is also PMF. And PMF tries to not only fight for their freedom, but also fight against ISIS and terrorists and things like that. But we in the United States, our government has labeled them a terrorist group. So my source goes on to say the situation is very dangerous for the American forces or troops. The whole people are angry and the American bases are vulnerable to attacks during the next 48 hours. The Iranian government has declared 3 days of mourning because of Soleimani's not execution, assassination. He was assassinated. But after that, I'll read it to you again. It says, the situation is very dangerous for the American forces. The whole people are angry and the American bases are vulnerable to attacks during the next 48 hours. That's not the right part. They also go on to say, I think Israel will bear this because it's obviously known that Netanyahu and Trump were in collusion, if you will, talking about how wonderful this was. This source goes on to say they don't know what will happen when and what Iran will do after the killing of its commander. And the commander of the Iranian Quds Force, Ismail Kabani, said, this is a quote, the first target will be detonated by Qasem Soleimani's dad is who will do it. And it was written by the will of Qasem Soleimani. So let me reread that. The first target will be detonated by Soleimani's father, Bakr, or Bakr, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's Bakr, and that was written in the will of Soleimani in case this were to have happened. After the funeral of Soleimani, a reply will be made. We need to get our troops out of there so bad for so many reasons. So then they sent me, let me find it. They sent me this. This is on Twitter, and there's a bunch of people threatening people like me and left-wing independent media because they're threatening to call the FBI and report you for basically being, I'm sure will be called this, Middle East apologists or Iraq apologists or Iranian apologists. So this is a smear tactic and a threat, and the mainstream media does not want to report the real truth because they're all funded by Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and places like that. And the right wing is talking about, oh, this was a great thing to do, watch out, and the center left media like MSNBC, CNN, all those bullshit shows, I call them shows because that's what they are. They're not news. They're funded by the same fucking people. They're funded by Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, and the corporate Democrats are saying, well, this guy was a terrorist, even though he was not. But Trump, you should have asked us first. The fact that the Democrats and the Republicans are pro-war should tell you something. It's always been like this. We have Vietnam, we have Iraq, we have now Iran. Like, there's so many cases that you could point to prove it. This is disgusting, and we don't need more war. So it goes on to say that the SLCB American Bank has been hacked by Iran. And that's a picture of Soleimani with hacked by the shield of Iran. And then, let me see here. The Sierra Leone Commercial Bank is a commercial bank in Sierra Leone. It is one of the commercial banks licensed by the Bank of Sierra Leone, the country's central bank and national banking regulator. It's according to Wikipedia. So after that, I said, oh, wow, economic warfare? And they said, yes, economical and electronic. We don't know how far this is going to go, so I let my husband know we paid some bills and we're emptying our account just to be safe. Let me see. So next, after that, Harvard University was hacked. The SLCB bank. I'm sorry, I'm going through my info from my source. So, a statement from Iran, according to my source, says statement number 1, the United States should prepare its shelters. That's not a threat. This is what this source is saying that the Iranian government is saying. And I'm going to ask you this. As horrible as the situation is, what would we as Americans do if somebody came in and killed a revolutionary person that has an 85% approval rating in the country, who is one of our most beloved people, like a Bernie, but with ties to the armed forces. What would we do? We would have to retaliate, right? It doesn't make it okay. It I'm not excusing warfare to any degree. I'm just trying to get you to understand it from the other side of things and the other side of the world. We're taught to fear brown people. We're taught that terrorism is brown people. Terrorism is actually mostly white people in this country. That's a fact too. You can look it up. So they go on to say that Iran is awaiting their president's orders, and I think it's Khamenei. I don't know how to say his name. I apologize. And I said, okay, I'm about to make the video. Is there anything else that you would like to say? And they said, according to Iranian news, there are 16,000 ballistic missiles aimed at Saudi Arabia and Israel, and they are awaiting Khamenei's orders. And then I asked, what about the United States? And they said, hitting American interests in the Gulf. So I I don't know. I'm getting more info I need to ask about. Give me 1 second, please. Um, I do apologize. Okay, I apologize for the delay there. Um, this is terrifying. We are going to be attacked. We are being attacked economically. Um, this is this is just the start of things. We killed some really important people, and we assassinated them. It's just it's really scary. Um, I suggest that everybody educate themselves and do not watch mainstream media because it's brainwash bullshit. We talk about how, like, Russia has state-run propaganda TV. We have that same fucking thing. Okay? Um, Try empathy for once. Not all of you, obviously. A lot of you are empathetic, but if it tends to be tough for you, try. Think about it from somebody else's shoes. If you were in that situation. And also, I suggest you watch a lot of Mike Preisner videos. I had done a video a couple days ago with him in it about war, and it'll get you to understand the real effects of it. Um, yeah, I think that's it for now. I will update if I get anything else. It looks like I have a couple messages that I need to. Oh, it looks like this is breaking news, and I haven't verified it yet, but I do have videos. Um, it looks like the American embassy is being bombed. So I will pause this video for now and verify it, and then I will get back on here. Till later. Medicare be with you. And peace in the Middle East.